Hey Mark, how you going?
Hi, Dan.
I'm doing good, man. How is it in England at this time of night?
I'm actually well, just outside New York in Jersey City, the upper side of the river.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, we used to be based in New York for 15 years, so we kind of like in 2005 we moved out here. Tim and I moved out here, set up a studio in Manhattan, and that was like 15 years. And then in the middle of the pandemic, he moved back to London. So I mean, I got kids here, so I'm stuck here.
The sole survivor.
Yeah, I'm
Alrighty.
stranded.
Well, you can think of worse places to be stranded.
Um, have you been to Jersey?
Long time ago, like
It's all right.
1996 was then.
Yeah, where'd you go to Hoboken?
No, I was working for a band, so I was like arena,
Okay.
road. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
So
I
like,
got you.
yeah, Meadowlands and places like that.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Meadowlands is like one giant truck car park for the rest of New York.
Where all the guys come in and sleep.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so you're here next month. It's celebrating the 30th anniversary of the band. You've got five shows in Australia, two in New Zealand. And
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
first shows in New Zealand since 1999. That's actually got to be a massive thing to come back.
Did we did I'm not 100% sure on this. I think we played a show in New Zealand on the Free All Angels tour.
Well,
No?
the press release says otherwise.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'm getting my wires crossed.
But you'll be there, and New Zealand's had a bit of a tough run over the last month, so they'll be ready for a bit of a celebration, hopefully. So
Oh
how does it
yeah.
feel?
I saw some things in the news. Was there like bad storms and stuff?
Cyclone.
Cyclone, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when you guys get together to do a celebration of a band, like a lot of bands will just go, "Oh, we're celebrating the hits," which is the same as every other tour.
Right.
What is a celebration of Ash for you?
Well, I guess we kind of hit that landmark of like our milestone of 30 years, and like they put out the record company put out a best of 2 years ago now, and we were supposed to like tour it, like do all of Europe, do the UK, and then eventually come out to Australia and Japan and New Zealand. But then right about halfway through that European tour, the pandemic hit, and then everything just got pushed back. So we've been playing kind of catch up for like the last, I guess, for the last 12 months really, and it's I think after we've done Australia, Japan, and uh, New Zealand, then we're gonna be doing the kind of like the European kind of like the UK and Irish summer festivals,
Yep,
and then after that we'll be switching into like new material and a new tour, like supporting the new album and stuff. So that'll be
sure.
like the second half of the year.
What's your favorite UK festival to do?
Probably Reading. I mean, it's always been our favorite. I think we did it. We got actually, I've got it's on the wall over there. It's a sort of like a framed picture of all the different years that we played at Reading. You know, like the
Yep,
poster, the event poster for each year. So like 10 years of that Ash have played at Reading, which is actually a record. So I mean, it's always been our favorite. It's the one festival that we get kind of nervous to play at because it's like, will it be as good as the last time? And they've always been like really momentous shows for us. So um, it's been a few years now since the last time. So I think once, hopefully next summer with the new album out, we'll be going back to do 11th.
that'd be great. What's the one band that you've seen at one of those festivals where you've had your holy shit moment and gone, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're here."
I really, it was probably back in like it was 90, I think it was 96 whenever Sonic Youth were playing.
Okay,
And it was the Stone Roses were headlining, Sonic Youth were second, and then Ash were like third on the main stage. And they were just kind of like, we grew up and Nirvana were like our favorite band and stuff, but then Sonic Youth were like very close behind them. So to sort of like meet, I was kind of friends with their babysitter and kind of meet them in person. I was kind of very starstruck and really didn't know what to say. And I kind of wanted to keep whenever you meet your heroes, you kind of want to maintain that illusion of sort of, you
yep.
know, God's status. So I kind of like just sort of like said hi to them and then sort of quickly dashed off because I was just too embarrassed. I didn't know what to say, you know.
Now, Ash always got lumped in with that Britpop vibe, which is weird because when I listen to you, you don't sound like it at all. How does that sit with you as someone in the band?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I think it was almost like just because we came around, just because things sort of like took off for us around the same time as Britpop, we kind of got lumped in with it. And I mean, we definitely flirted around the edges of it, and we were kind of like, you know, toured with a lot of those bands and stuff. So you inevitably get lumped in. One of our first tours of the UK was with Elastica, so I mean, it's easy to understand why people would put us in that basket, but I think musically we were more definitely drawing more influences from America and certainly like bands like, you know, like I mentioned like Nirvana, Mudhoney, like even Iggy Pop and stuff. Just more of, you know, American rock, and then also with the fact that we were from Ireland as well, it's a little bit weird to be called a Britpop band, but you know, we were just doing our own thing anyway. We
What
didn't think
was
about it
the
too much.
what was the scene in Ireland like when you guys were starting out for a band?
It was actually really vibrant. There was a lot of, I mean, everyone. We came from a very small town of about excuse me, about 15,000 people. It was a sort of like a rural town, about 20 miles outside Belfast, and everyone around that time, Nirvana were like absolutely massive. It was about 91, 92, and everyone who was kind of like, you know, I mean, a lot. Everyone who was in the music was like into Nirvana, and they were like all in a band. And if they weren't in a band, they were like mates of a band, and there was like lots of little groups or cliques and stuff. And everyone was like putting on their own shows in like in school assembly halls or like in youth clubs or like art centers or the back rooms. Basically anywhere you could find a room to play in, there would be something going on. And it was really there was a lot of bands out of Downpatrick itself, and then there was a lot of bands in Belfast. And I mean, I don't think there's ever, just from my own knowledge, I don't think there's ever been a time when there was just so many bands in Ireland as around that time.
Okay. Now moving on to coming here, what can
Yeah.
fans expect from the shows?
Well, it's going to be a look back over our entire career, really, and covering everything which is on that Teenage Wildlife album, which is mostly singles. And I mean, I think there's we've had so many singles now that we have to sort of like leave out like top 20 songs and stuff. So but we do like still like to pick out some of the songs that we consider like our favorite ones to play live, or like maybe good strong album songs that maybe should have been singles but never were. So like we put some songs like that on in the set list. And
Did you guys ever
I think
decide your
people
singles?
we I mean, we definitely knew which songs we had wanted released, and most of the time it would tie up with what the labels thought. A lot of times the labels will listen to the radio pluggers and you know like the people who pitch the music to radio stations, and whoever that person is tends to have a lot more say as to, you know, our influence in what gets decided. So there have been occasions whenever we have not agreed with the songs that went to radio, but it's almost like if you want to keep a record on your side and not be sort of like fighting with them, that's not
Yep.
gonna it's not really helpful if your record company is not gonna like want to work with you. So I mean, there's some element of compromise there, but I would say, you know, 90% of the time we kind of like agree with them.
Has there ever been a song that you go, I cannot believe you didn't release that single, you idiots, to the record company?
Well, there was one song that was actually on Free All the Angels called "Walking Barefoot," which was released in Australia as a single, but it was never released in the UK. Excuse me, in the UK. So that was a weird one because the Australian company, I think it was Mushroom, they saw that it was a good song. And it was like the first track. I mean, it was put first track on that album because we felt it was like super strong song, and it just had a really good summer vibe. And yeah, for whatever reason, the UK label didn't want it. Again, it was like the UK radio plugger who wasn't even part of the label, but it was someone who was hired in, you know, as a consultant.
Mm-hmm.
He they seemed to make the call, and the record company went with them. So it is what it is.
Unfortunately, we have super limited time today. I've only been given like 10 to 15 minutes. So
Oh, that's all right.
I'm going to leave you with, what do you want to tell all your friends in Australia?
In Australia, I think we were last in Australia like 4 years ago. So, and we had a fantastic time. And the one thing that really annoys me the most when I come down to Australia is that we turn up, we're jet lagged, we do our shows, and then, you know, we have to usually head off and play shows up in Asia somewhere, like Japan or somewhere like that. And we never get to sort of stay and just like hang out and like enjoy the place. You know,
Yeah.
I always want to come down and like have like 2 weeks, either at the start of the tour or at the end of the tour, and just really sort of get to sort of like know it really well. The one time the best time we had in Australia was on the big day out tour, because there was a lot of like days off in between.
Yeah.
So it was a bit more like a vacation as well. So that was absolutely fantastic, and we made a lot of friends on that tour. So hopefully, if anyone from the big day out's listening, bring us back, and we'll have another long vacation and great time.
Well, the big day out no longer exists, so we'll have to
really?
find a new festival for you.
Oh well, we do enjoy coming down for Splendor and Grass and just think shows like that.
Yeah, Splendor's still around.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I will see you next month when you hit Australia.
Awesome. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Thanks, man. Bye.
Bye-bye.
The world is a vampire.
The Smashing Pumpkins are coming down under this April for their World is a Vampire Festival. With special guests, Jane's Addiction, Amel and the Sniffers, and more. Plus, professional wrestling, the NWA versus Australia's best. Tickets on sale now at oneworldentertainment.com.au. The Smashing Pumpkins World is a Vampire Festival. Get your tickets now.